Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is an unboxing and rambling of Zombicide. Undead or Alive, more specifically, and it's even being done without my normal coffee here because, well, this showed up right after I had my normal coffee, and unfortunately, I want to play this tonight, which means I have two choices. I can have another coffee right after I have my last coffee, honestly not the craziest option. Or I could just unbox this without coffee, which feels like the mistake in hindsight, but it's too late now. We're here. What, are we getting coffee? Oh boy, we're getting coffee. We're getting a coffee delivered. Okay, we got a delivered coffee over here. We have a coffee. This is the coffee shot again. Coffee shot. We got a coffee shot over here. This is a venti. I can't read it. It's not bad though. It's not bad. Okay, we got a coffee. We're good to go. We have this unboxing and rambling occurring over here. With this is Undead or Alive, Zombicide Undead or Alive, and this is a game that I am unboxing with the belief that it is not staying in my collection. Although I have played it, and I do enjoy it, and I think it's a great game, I just still think it's not staying in my collection. We'll talk about that, because this is, as I said already, an unboxing or rambling, not or rambling, it's both. Which means for those new to the channel, first of all, please subscribe, like, follow, all those things. I have a Patreon down below, you can check that out. I do videos every single week, lots of dedicated exclusive content. But either way, this is going to be me going through Zombicide while talking about anything and everything and a little bit about Undead or Alive. I have played this game already, like I said already. I do enjoy it. I think it's great. Let's talk about my experience with Zombicide, but first let's go ahead and open this box over here. We have Undead or Alive, a game by Raphael Guillotin, Jean-Baptiste Lillian, and Nikolai Raoult. I said those possibly okay, I don't know, I apologize if I butchered them. But I like the Zombicide system. I didn't always like the Zombicide system. I specifically ignored the first three Zombicides when they came out. I wasn't intrigued by giant piles of miniatures when I was going through a phase of really enjoying and appreciating the Euro experience. I was liking a lot of Euro games, and this giant horde of plastic that everyone seemed to like, well, they can like it. It wasn't for me. Or so I thought. Turns out, I do like the Zombicide system, I just hadn't played it and I didn't realize what a great game was hidden behind, well, these plastic unpainted miniatures. We have the core rulebook over here, rules and missions and all that stuff. This does have missions, so it's not quite as long as you might think otherwise. We're going to go ahead and look through this over here. We have Undead or Alive set up, and I'll have to go through this over here. We have page 9. If we go through the missions, oh my gosh, the page... How far do these rules go? Companions, Ultra Red, Missions, page 9 to 42. So that's going to be a whole bunch of rules I have to kind of read through, because even though I did read Zombicide, even though I did play Zombicide Undead or Alive, and even though it is mostly the same as Zombicide, one thing they haven't done a great job at when doing the Zombicide rulebooks and whatnot is being like, hey, here are the rules that have changed since the last one. And the problem for that, the reason they don't do that, I think, at least the reason in my head they don't do that, is because they'd have to give you that list for every iteration of Zombicide that you've played. It can't just be like, by the way, here's what's changed since the last one. It would be like, if you've played Zombicide Black Plague, here's what you need to know. If you've played Zombicide 2nd Edition, here's what you need to know. That would be complicated. It would be a lot of work. I would appreciate it. Come on, if you don't mind doing it, that'd be great. Coffee's really not bad. Anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and continue going through this. We have our tokens over here. We're saving the miniatures for last. We have our tokens and tiles, nicely punch-boarded up over there, and that's the rest of the box. We have our handy-dandy knife. Now, I like the Zombicide system, like I said already. My first introduction to it was Zombicide Black Plague. And I liked it. And I picked up a bunch of extra stuff, which made me like it more. Because one of the problems with the Zombicide system I do find is the core boxes. I do think they're good. I do think they're entertaining. I also think they don't give you enough variety to the experience. And I really liked what the extras added to Zombicide Black Plague. I got Green Horde. I like that. And then later, eventually, I got Invader because I was like, oh my gosh, I love Zombicide. I have to get my hands on Invader. Here we have some tokens over here, and we have the train that's going to be like, you know, on the mat over here. In some way, you'll be moving onto train cars. They'll be pulling away from the station. There's a degree of that aspect of the game. Don't remember much about that. We have our actual tiles over here. You know, we have our salon, our stairway to this little alcove over here that'll overlook the streets in different ways. So now you have these areas, you know, connected to the streets, and you can go ahead and you go into the salon and wander up here and start shooting at the zombies on the street. Again, lots of fun opportunities over here as far as how this game engine actually develops. You can have the little Zombicide spawn points or Abomination spawn points popping up wherever as you try to figure out how to navigate this board and all the scenarios and missions that you have. I love the aesthetic of this one. I do like the Wild West aesthetic. I think it's very solid. I think that's why the Kickstarter did so well. It did what, like 5.5 million, 6 million? I can't remember the exact number, but it did do well. But anyways, I got my hands on Invader. Because, of course, why wouldn't I get my hands on Invader? Because I loved Zombicide. And then I played Invader, and I played more Invader, and I played more Invader, and I just found Invader not to be nearly as compelling as I would have ideally liked. To me, Invader was never challenging enough. I love the theme of it. The theme of it was great, although the artwork not as much. I'm a big fan, honestly, of this cartoonish artwork. I'm a very big fan of this style of artwork that's generally in the Zombicide games, and Invader took a heavy pivot from that style to something that was very solid, but less Zombicide to me personally. We have our little tokens over here. This is going to be a little cart that's moving around. We have our extra tokens, our various spawn points that sometimes have, they're actually all the same on both sides. It looks like they don't have that aspect as they typically do. Again, hence my aspect of having to read the rule books. We're going to have our little boom token, which is the noise. The noise in Zombicide is a little different this time around. You have specific abomination spawn points, but you also have noise that follows the highest level of noise that can be currently found. So a little different. We have this gorgeous box over here, which is very thematically well done. But anyways, like I said, Invader was not as challenging as I would have liked. Ooh, we got fun stuff over here. Whoa, okay, one second. We need to go through this over here. First of all, we have our Abomination. This, honestly, miniature sculpt over here looks fine, but not necessarily amazing. If we look here, and now the color does make it look worse. I do find these types of colors show up worse on camera, but it is not, like, the detail's fine. I'm not overly impressed by it, but it's fine. It's fine. There'll be others I like more. But the other sculpts look great at a glance. Let's just show you a few of these. We won't be able to show you everything because there's going to be a lot of miniatures through this unboxing. It's very much going to be pick and choose as I talk about whatever. Anyways, we have this character over here. Look at him. Like, that level of detail over there. That looks very solid. I like that guy. Very solid sculpt. Very, very rewarding in terms of just the general presentation of it. We have this woman over here, you know, with her little dress and her focus. There we go. Like, look at that swirling dress. Feels very reminiscent of, what's that movie, TV show that got canceled? Westworld. Westworld was disappointing. Westworld had a great first season. I loved it. Very solid twist at the end. It was very, very compelling. I really loved it. And then second season kind of seemed to wander. And I didn't even watch the third season. And now I've heard that the fourth season will be the last when it's not technically supposed to be the last. There's supposed to be one more season. But it just doesn't feel like there actually will be that one more season now. So, Westworld was disappointing. It's like Lost. You know, Lost had one of the best first seasons of TV of all time. And then from there, it kind of just wandered and just didn't... It's much worse than Lost. The second season of Westworld was better than the second season of Lost. Not Lost. Why am I saying Lost? I meant Prison Break. I'm sorry. Lost is excellent. I apologize to all those who are offended by that. Lost is phenomenal. It is amazing. Even those who get to the end, even the end holds up. It is worth a second rewatch, honestly, but Lost is tremendous the whole way through. It's Prison Break that's kind of lost to a certain degree. So, there's that. But, anyways, Prison Break is whatever. Let's go ahead and open this little pack of cards up. But back to Zombicide Invader, because let's pretend this is an actual focus to the conversation here. Zombicide Invader, I didn't love the art as much, and I found the game too easy. I've never in my life lost a game of Zombicide Invader, and I have consistently tried making it harder. Are there ways to make it even harder? Sure, but I've already tried, and so there's only so much work I'm willing to give a game. And then when you combine that with the fact that I liked Undead or Alive, and I also liked Marvel Zombies, which is going to be a big twist to the story that most of you know about, because you've probably been watching my Zombicide content by now already. But here we got the cards over here. So we have Carl. We have is her name Conception? Is the nun's name... The nun's name is Conception? That's an interesting choice over here. Anyways, Conception, we have Hannah, we have Henry, we have Jeb, Jimmy, Cassie, May. Now, one of the things that's nice over here is they have some of these skills listed on the back of the card, so there's less referencing of the rulebook, which this was fixed even further. We have Meg, look at that, you know, back, is that Meg? That's Meg. We have Meg over here. We have Free Reload over here. We have Molly, we have Pablito, we have Thomas, Trixie, Turner, but the skills are listed on the back in some cases, not all of them. So Marksman's probably listed. Oh, Fanning, interesting. See, they don't list all the skills. They have some listed so that between the characters you have enough things that are generically listed, less stuff to reference, which is helpful. But Zombicide, Marvel Zombies took it a step further by printing all the abilities on the cards and having them all be unique to the characters. So it's just straight up text on the card, which works really well. Plus makes the characters feel highly variable. Now let's show you some of the other stuff here. We got the packs full of cards. This is all base content. Anyways, so Invader was too easy. That's what it comes down to. And when you have the other Zombicides announced, I just didn't feel the need to keep Invader at that point. I held on to it for a while. I was willing to have 2 Zombicides in my collection. I consider Green Horde and Black Plague to be 1, and Invader was number 2. And then from there, that was great until we had Undead or Alive. Now, Undead or Alive, I played it online. I actually also had 2nd edition, by the way. I played 2nd edition. I found 2nd edition to be, again, way too easy. I gave that like 12 plays, something like that. I played through the entire campaign of it. I had like 1 game of the base game and then like 12 plays of the campaign, and then got rid of it. Did not feel the need for it. It was just too ridiculously easy as far as the game goes. Here we have our Bowler Hat Abomination, not Howler Hat. We have our various weapons, our starting weapons. The weapons will unlock some dynamite, some holy water. We have all these things over here, the machete, the pickaxe, the plenty of shells, all these fun gear that'll be fun to pick up. We have Old Timer, what are these? Oh, these are the starting weapons, which means the other weapons are probably our very, very cool weapons instead of our starting weapons. They're bounty weapons, which is a new concept in this particular version of the game. Then we have our walkers, our brutes, and our runners, and then of course the abomination cards as well. And then what else do we have? More walkers, more brutes, runners, abominations, all of that stuff over here. And we have extra activations on some of these cards. Now, my biggest complaint with Undead or Alive and Second Edition, and no, those two, you see, Black Plague has a lot of zombie variation in the game. Let me just show you the characters so you can see them all at once over here, because I'm not going to show you them individually. Here's the characters. You can see them over here. That's what we got as far as these guys. Look very cool. Now, Black Plague and Green Horde had a lot of variation to the types of zombies you had. We have these wooden dice. Now, there were a lot of complaints that the wooden dice would feel like popcorn dice in the sense that they're a little bit too light. They feel fine. They definitely are light. Plastic has a drop more heft than wooden dice, which is weird. You'd think they wouldn't, but they do. But these do feel... No. Just rolled across the board. But these do feel pretty decent as far as things go. And they do look nice. I like the little shapes in them for the various, the 1s and the 6s on them are pretty solid. But either way. And there are also options to get metal dice, which I thought I ordered, but I'm not seeing them here, which means I may not have. We'll figure it out. I'll look at my orders later. Past that, we have our boxes of cards. Now, this is actually a really annoying system, the way they have this here. So let me show you here. The way they have this giant stack of cards on a thing that's supposed to be popping out, that just feels really poorly designed. Really poorly designed. It works well when you have the other tray on it, but otherwise it's just annoying, which makes me think it's just annoying now. Anyways, we have our types of abominations or zombies over here. So we have the basic abominations, the brutes, the runners. What are these people? What are these? I don't even know what these are. Okay, so do we have runners here? Oh, here are the runners. Let's show you some runners. So here's a runner. This is a runner up here. If we can focus. There we go. Okay, that's a runner over there. And then we have our basic walkers, which are going to be like these guys. And there's a few sculpts over here. There's a few different sculpts for how these look. But these are our basic walkers. And then we have two things. Maybe they're just different versions. I guess these are both just the brutes, I'm guessing. But they look drastically different as far as their miniature design. Like one looks like some sort of what is it? Is it like a horse or a cow or a misconfigured... I don't know what it is, but these designs for the brutes are so drastically different that I'm currently wondering whether they actually are different or not. But that's what we have for the base set over here. That's what we have for this box over here. You can see them all there. We're going to take this combined and put them back over here. Again, trying to kind of get those cards locked in a way that actually works. Putting these things underneath here in a way that sort of works. Just as long as it closes, I don't really care. It'll not close right now because of that. We'll figure that out. Let's go over there. Okay. It's good enough. It's good enough. We'll get the rest done later. I'm sure there's a way that makes sense. These games in general don't work well when it comes to storing things back in the box the way they came in, I find. These plastic trays are likely doomed for being thrown away in some way, although it depends, because if I don't find myself keeping this, which I don't think I will, we haven't gotten to that part of the store yet, then I wouldn't want to... if I'm not keeping it, I'd want to keep the plastic trays because whoever wants the game might want the plastic trays. Just because I don't doesn't mean the next person doesn't, so I have to factor that in as I go through this over here. Now going back to Second Edition. Second Edition wasn't that rewarding. Black Plague, I was saying that Black Plague and Green Horde have a zombie variation. And so did Invader. Invader, easy as it was, had one thing that still did right. It had lots of zombie variation. You didn't just have runners and fatties and walkers. You had all these other little sculpts that would do different things in terms of the way they interact with the game, which we had from Undead or we had from Black Plague and Green Horde. Then Second Edition came along, and they did not have that. We're going to do the Running Wild expansion. Second Edition came along and did not have that, which was a big lack for me. I like having the variation of different types of zombies activating on the board. I think it's a lot of fun, and it simplifies the system, but I like having zombie variation. I just do. It's just fun for me. And Green Horde, like I said, nope, Second Edition did not have that. And in addition to that, it was way too easy. They had the daily spawn, which were these Kickstarter stretch goals, basically, but those involved looking up rules every single second for every single zombie, which I didn't find rewarding. Here we got our, horses that stand still. Now, this is where we have our first add-on pack. Because you see, we're also going to have this little pack over here, the Lone Horse pack. So let's actually go ahead and open that so we can show you that at the same time. But anyways, so Second Edition was a letdown as well. A letdown more so than Invader. Invader was like on the fence. Second Edition, complete letdown for me. I like it. I still like it. Just not in comparison to the other Zombicides out there. Which brings us to Undead or Alive. Undead or Alive, I played this one online and found it hard and challenging in a way that no Zombicide had been for me since Black Plague and Green Horde. And I like that. I want the game system to be hard and challenging. I want to feel like I can die. And sure enough, I died. And I heard from other people who played it that they died as well. We were warned walking into our gameplay that most people had died. And we all died. I like that aspect in the game. I like that aspect in the game system. And so that was all good things for me as far as I was concerned. But the problem was, and there's no problem yet. No, there's a problem soon coming. So I backed Undead or Alive. I was excited for it. I didn't like the fact that they didn't have the zombie variety I wanted. That part was still a downer for me. So I backed it knowing full well that if I don't like it, this is a Zombicide game, and I will be able to sell it just fine. These are nice horses. I like the horses. These are very fun. They're very cool. The idea is you have these cowboys in the game who have actually horses, but when they dismount, you need to have a horse on the table for where their horse dismounted. Now you could use these tokens over here, which are nicely colored. They'll give you these horses that you can put down the board, or you can use these guys over here instead, which are these little thingies here, which are just, you know, you have to figure out how to store them, but if you do like them, that'll be very cool to have these just kind of sitting there. Honestly, I do want to keep this game. I'm not saying I will, I'm saying I want to. We'll find out. But anyways, I backed Undead or Alive knowing that I liked the gameplay, but knowing that the zombie variation was lacking, wondering if the full package of everything they had, and they had another campaign, I'm not that excited about it, to be honest. We'll see if it's good or not. But overall, I walked into it excited, but also uncertain. Maybe this is the one that replaces 2nd edition. Maybe this is the one that replaces Invader. Maybe this is the one that becomes the 2nd Zombicide, because I only have room for 2 Zombicides in my collection. And even that feels like 1 Zombicide too much, but I'll make the sacrifice for a game I love. And then they announced Marvel Zombies, which was a surprise to many, because it came out earlier in the timeline than CMON's traditional releases of the Zombicide systems. You see, CMON, cool many not, they release Zombicide games on a regular basis. That's what they do. They do them. Every single year there's a Zombicide game. And people don't like that already, but this was even faster than that. Marvel Zombies was announced, and that was even faster than the usual yearly cycle, and a whole lot of people who backed Undead or Alive were not happy about it. I was kind of mixed, because I definitely wanted Marvel Zombies, but who knows if it's good or not good. I can't answer that question yet, and so I'm only partially mixed. But then I had a chance to play it, and I liked it. I liked Marvel Zombies quite a bit. And so I was like, you know what? I like Undead or Alive, but between the lack of zombie variety and the fact that I like both these systems, and Marvel Zombies feels like the biggest change to the Zombicide system yet, I think there's a decent chance that I do not keep Marvel Zombies. These characters look cool. Not Marvel Zombies. Whoa, sorry. Undead or Alive. My bad. But basically, you have your mounted cowboy person over here. So they're going to show the mounted heroes, effectively. That's what they are. But then they come with a matching, non-mounted version of the same hero. Screenshot there. A matching version, so you can have the horse down on the board with their matching iteration of them, which is a cool system. I like it in general. It gives you a degree of variety to it. We have, let's see if we can find her. We just have these fun characters over here. So we have this character over here. Again, you can see, you know, the sculpts are clearly similar. You'll have the different horses. They'll be wandering around the board. They'll park their horse. They'll do their thing. Let's show you one more. We have this guy over here. This guy's always fun because it's got a big guy on a horse, so that's like always fun. But anyways, here we go. You see? Look at that guy. Just on his horse, riding across town with his machete, taking people down, and then parking his horse somewhere on the board and wandering. And then, of course, we have a horse abomination, because how could we not? The color won't show up great on camera. I apologize for that. Again, this shade just, it like captures the lights in a way that the camera is like, ooh, look at you, your super shiny. And it's not as bad as it actually looks. It's much better in person. It has a light color texture to it. Anyways, so that's where we are. So we have a game that I backed that is now on the way for a game system that I'm questioning whether I'll like, well, not whether I'll like it, but whether I'll keep it, because we have Black Plague, which is still my definitive Zombicide system to a degree, and it has the zombie variety, it has the difficulty, and then we have a new theme, which I like new themes, with a game that has the difficulty, but not the zombie variety, although other variety to be determined. We do have the long dead walkers, so there is something going on here. Ancient Nightmares made of dry, bullets punch straight through these. Yeah, I think these guys had to be killed with melee. Is that how they worked? But I like that degree of some variation, but they don't have the same degree of variation that the that Black Plague has. So we'll try. We'll do our best with these, but it may not be enough. And then combine that with the pressure of knowing that Marvel Zombies is on the way. And I just reviewed Marvel Zombies Heroes Resistance. You can check that out as well. And it does mean that we are facing a decision point. Do I either A, own 3 Zombicides and say that Black Plague... Jeez, I can't get these names straight. Do we say that Undead or Alive is a good enough Zombicide system that I want to own all 3 because I know how I feel about Marvel Zombies? Or do we get rid of it because ultimately I only have room for 2 and Marvel Zombies and Undead or Alive are going to be the ones left standing? And the short answer to those wondering is the fact that as of right now, I just don't know. I am prepared to open this to find out. I'm prepared to keep this for a bit and play it for a bit to find out, because I know I liked it enough that I want to give it that shot and see if it will actually stick around. I don't know whether it will or not. That's a kind of time will tell kind of conversation, but I know that I want to find out and try. It was that good. And early reports from people who got their copies are already pouring in, and people are saying it's definitely challenging. It wasn't just that one scenario, that one, you know, maybe it was. Maybe it would have been one scenario. But apparently it's not just the one scenario, because they're saying it's hard. It's challenging. And I wonder whether other aspects of it, again, will be there. How will this overall experience and package be? Here we have these long dead walkers. Is that what they're called? We'll look at the name in a second again. Can't remember the name already. The long dead walkers, yeah. These guys look cool. These show up very nicely in camera, by the way. Okay, so we have all that. We have all that. We'll put these back in the box. We'll put the cover back on, slide these back in, and figure out the rules around them, because I can't even remember what they are. Special rules. Same targeting priority. They're immune to ranged actions. So yeah, that's the deal. They're immune to ranged actions. You'll have to kill them hand to hand, which is fun for a game all about cowboys and guns and stuff like that. But anyways, so that's where we are so far. That should bring you up to speed on how we're doing as far as the overall Zombicide system. Right now, I like Black Plague. I like Green Horde. I love Marvel Zombies. I am looking forward to Undead or Alive. I am questioning how Undead or Alive will fare in my collection, but I do have time to find that out. We do have some degree of time to figure things out. And we have the Abominape versus the Crocosaur. Also, there's a big guy. It should be in the stretch goal box. That was one of the final stretch goals. Ooh, we got these over here. These ones, I'm not going to read the rules for these because that would take too much time. Let's go ahead and see what we have as far as this box goes. But they are fun as far as the sculpts. I hope they show up well in camera. I don't know if they will. I'm sorry. They chose a color that's very, very defined in a way that I don't love. It doesn't show up on camera either. Great. It's better in person than on camera, to be clear. I'm saying I don't love it, but the issue is more camera-based than me loving it based. These are fun sculpts, I'll say that. They are good to show on the board. Let's go ahead and show you this over here. So we have our crocodile over here. Oh my gosh, the color is so bad on camera. In real life, it's just not the best. Look how it captures the light and folds it around in a way that just makes it look not great. Then we have over here, this guy. And again, just, you know, the giant Abominape. The sculpting detail is pretty fine. And again, in person. The front camera, I think, looks better. It looks more realistic to what it is. Just not, I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's the setting on my cameras. Maybe it's the setting on my cameras. But I'm pretty sure I didn't make any changes to these cameras when I got them, like setting-wise. I think they're all the exact same as I got them, so I don't know. It could be background stuff. Sometimes the cameras, based on how other things in the shot are going, will make decisions as far as how to present. So, we have Sister Temperance over here, which is just 2 miniatures. I don't know why this is a separate pack. Was this a separate add-on that I bought? I don't remember. Well, maybe it's the Kickstarter exclusive for buying Running Wild on the Kickstarter. That could be. Does it say Kickstarter exclusive? Would it say Kickstarter exclusive? I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't say Kickstarter exclusive, at least I don't see it. This is usually the part where somebody will comment down below. You're looking at it, it says it right there. But here we have another. Jeez, these pieces of tape. Anyways, so where are we? So this is going to be played, hopefully, in the next 24 hours. That's the goal. That's why I'm opening it now with my proxy coffee. I mean, it's a real coffee. It's just, speaking of which, coffee time. Anyways, we have Sister, what's her name again? Sister Temperance over here. Okay. So I'll show you one more of these horse rider pairings. This is what we got. Look at her. Again, the detail is very solid. I like it a lot. Riding a donkey. It's hilarious. Now the only problem is, do we have a donkey? Oh my gosh, we don't have a donkey. The extra horses pack doesn't have a donkey. So what are you supposed to do with her? Does she ever leave her horse in a place that can be found? I don't understand how this works. It feels like she's a bit broken in the fact that, I don't know. There's no tile. There's no horse tile. There's no, are you going to leave a lone horse tile? It feels like that's an oversight. We got 5 more boxes. Making our way there. We have the Steampunk Extras. Well, it feels like we should open the Steampunk non-extras first. We have special guest box Palo Parenti. So there are a lot of guest boxes for the original Black Plague. Black Plague really was one of the best performing Zombicides to date. I don't think they've ever captured the magic again until Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies, obviously, because of the Marvel IP, will do very well in the general ecosystem because people are going to pick it up because Marvel Zombies. But past that, Black Plague had like 1,400 guest boxes. Oh, we have Snoop Dogg over here. I forgot about this. I forgot about some of the extras. I'm remembering now some of the stretch goals. There's some political stretch goals in this box that people are not happy about. But on both sides, on both parties, but there were a lot of political stretch goals that were thrown in here as presidents, because there's a concept in the game of presidents, if I recall correctly. But here we got, I'm not going to open all these card packs, but we have I'm pretty sure this is a reference to Snoop Dogg. I would challenge you to let me know if you think I'm wrong, because I don't think I am. Let's find Snoop Dogg. Oh my gosh. So, Snoop Dogg over here is one miniature. There we go. That is your Snoop Dogg Survivor for those who want them. Who else do I recognize in here? I don't know if I'm going to from these alone. We have a bunch of these characters over here. Let's just go ahead and show you on the top cam. So these are the characters you have over here. These are the extra Palo Parenti box. They have 8 of these. That's actually not bad, considering the guest boxes and original. If you looked at the original Zombicide games and whatnot, the guest boxes were often like 3 or 4 miniatures. So having a guest box of 9, again, that's pretty good. Special guest Palo Parenti, own survivor designs for Zombicide, Undead or Alive. 9 survivors. Fun stuff. We have the dead stock over here. This is going to be 4 more abominations, and then from there I think we're going to be dealing with the stretch goal box and then the steampunk box. So still some stuff to go over. Not an absolute ton, but enough to keep you invested. Again, the main thing I want is I want more zombie variation. That's all I want. The Steampunk box does have zombies. I can't remember. Does the Steampunk have shooting? I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to leave that alone. I can't remember if there are shooting zombies in this one. I remember Marvel Zombies brought in some shooting characters. I don't remember if Undead or Alive brought them in. We have the dead stock abominations. We have some cards in here, which slipped in there. We're going to pull this out and deal with this over here. Piece of tape. So yeah, I am excited. I am very excited to dive into it. I need to figure out what the player count is this. The demo we played online was 4. I can't remember if that was a change to the system or if that was a change to the demo online. Because I heard with Marvel Zombies, recently when I reviewed Heroes Resistance, I commented how the full Marvel Zombies was 4 characters, and I got a bunch of people saying it was 6 characters, and I was like, I played it at 4 when I played the demos online with the creators, and that could be that they just gave us 4-player options for the sake of demoing it. I don't know. The downside of covering games in prototype stage does mean you get some non-fully complete pictures of what a game is. Anyways, we have these two over here. Again with the light issues, but overall still looking very cool. The sculpt detail is still very solid in these. I like these a lot. These are basically various cattle almost. Like think of the various wildlife creatures that became zombies in your Wild West universe. You'd have things like a bear and more of these various horned cattle beasts and stuff. You'd have all that going on in the game, in the world, not the game. But overall, these are cool. The bear is my least favorite, but not because it's bad, just because it's not. I like the horns. These are actually very reminiscent of many of the stuff you see in Black Plague and Green Horde. They have a lot of those horned kind of creatures showing up there. But anyways, I am excited. I'm excited to dive into it. I'm excited to read the rules, see what's there, to mix in some abominations, to see how the game system plays. I don't imagine I'm playing the Steampunk one, at least not yet, because I think that would take more time. But let's see what we have here. Now, the Gears and Guns expansion is a Steampunk expansion, and it gives you a campaign to the system, if I recall correctly. It gave you a few other things as well, as far as different ways of managing, differences to the experience. It features an alternate setting for Zombicide Undead or Alive in a world powered by Steam. New survivors have new full Steam rules, unleashing tremendous power against zombies at the risk of getting depleted. Discover the new Engineer Survivor class. Get your hand... Oh, I forgot there are classes. That was a cool thing. Anyways, we have a bunch of things over here. Let's see what we got as far as this game. The Gears and Guns expansion. I love the art. I'm sorry, I just love the art. We have the rules and missions. So this is going to give you a bunch of new rules for the Steampunk universe. As well as, of course, we have this. We have the cards. We have KOA, RIP rules. We have Gears and Gun rules. We have campaign rules. The campaign is the thing I'm most nervous about. Again, I haven't played the Massive Darkness campaign yet, the new one, so I can't talk about that. And then we get to the missions over here on page 18. So I haven't played the Massive Darkness 2 campaign stuff. There is an option there. I haven't even seen feedback on it. I believe Massive Darkness has been very well rated so far as a general rule. Here's our, tokens over here, our Steam overlays, or how those work. So Massive Darkness generally, our campaign sheet, this is very reminiscent to a 2nd edition, not making me optimistic, but it could be, it's amazing. So you'd earn different things as you went through the game, and it just became way, way, way too easy. Like, obnoxiously so. My goal is not to, I don't know, I need the experience to be difficult. Not because it doesn't have to be difficult for you, but if I'm going to keep it, it has to be difficult, because that's what I'm looking for in a Zombicide game. I want to win, but I want to also lose, and I want to feel like I could lose. One thing that Death May Die does brilliantly well, they just finished their Death May Die campaign, or is it still going? It might be still going, actually, when this video goes up. I have to check when this video goes up. But, no, it finished. Never mind. Death May Die finished. It's already done. I'm talking about. Anyways, we have these tiles over here. Some more steampunk aesthetic going on to various things over here. You can see the steam engines. They're going to have those valves with the steam popping out over there. So basically the same general aesthetic, but with a degree of steam overlays that will be casting onto the board from various locations. So we have these for our tiles, and then we have some cards. So I'm not heavily going to go through the cards, but let's open this up. But what was I saying? I was talking about the difficulty. So one thing that Undead or Alive did particularly well is the fact that, not Undead or Alive, Death May Die, I'm going to cut this tape over here. Death May Die makes it always feel like no matter what happens, you are challenged by the game and you could win or could lose at any point. And I love that about the system. It makes it always fun, because I don't like winning and I don't like losing. I like the feeling of tenseness. Winning or losing, kind of immaterial to me. I don't mind losing at all. I don't mind winning at all. I just want to feel like there's a challenge of what's happening here. We got some fun people here. Some fun weapons and gears and different things from these steampunk-esque various survivors over here. So you can see that over there. Look at the dress. You have the giant saw. Some cool stuff over there. Let's see what else we got as far as showing you some of these fun things. This one looks like, actually, this very much looks like the guy from Tombstone. I don't know if it's meant to be or not. They might be completely unrelated. But this very much looks like the guy from Tombstone. I don't remember his name, but the sheriff, one of the sheriffs, or the sheriff's brother, actually. Look at him. Look at him. Look at his face. I don't know if you can see that there. It looks like the Tombstone guy. In fact, I'm going to actually go through the trouble of pulling out the ID card and opening up the ID pack to see. Yes.
My gallery says you can late pledge.
Peanut Gallery says you can late pledge for Cthulhu Death May Die. That's a good point. Peanut Gallery is not wrong with the card. Also, I thank the Peanut Gallery for the coffee. But anyways, that's a good point. You could late pledge for Death May Die, and I do recommend that one. There will be more coverage. Speaking of which, you should make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because if you care about this stuff, because there will be more coverage around Death May Die coming up soon. We'll be comparing Death May Die to Mansions of Madness for those who wanted that comparison. Yes, I saw people also wanted comparisons to Machina Arcana, which is a great game, by the way. Highly recommend it. And then another game. It was Machina Arcana, Mansions of Madness, Cthulhu Death May Die, and then one more that I do not remember. But either way, those aren't coming. Oh, the others, that's the one. The others from Come On as well. So let's see if we can find this character over here, the one I think is, maybe it's him, maybe it's not. Is that him? Now I'm not confident. Now I'm questioning myself. No, now I'm questioning myself. No. So I'm sorry. This guy who I thought was from Tombstone, if this is the art for it, which I think it is, that's nothing like the guy from Tombstone. Yeah, that's not in the remotely like it. So forget that. I'm wrong. Let's go back to the unboxing. So we're done with the steampunk box over here. We have our steampunk dice. Again, there were metal steampunk dice as well for those who wanted it, if I recall correctly. I thought I ordered them. I generally order metal dice, but maybe I didn't because I haven't always ordered metal dice, because metal dice can, like, you know, be hard to throw and bounce across the table in different ways. But I also like them, and they're shiny and they're pretty, and I don't know. This is way too much angst for a game that I'm pretty sure I'm not keeping. But we can find out. Okay, let's go ahead and open this over here. So, we're going to go ahead and open this here, put this down over here. We're going to clean up the mess later. The mess is always there. We have the Steampunk Extras as far as this little pack over here. Some more cards, some more zombies, some more, not zombies, I lied. There's going to be 9 more characters here that are going to be various heroes to go through. Just little piles of tape just slowly piling up in a undefeatable mound of tape. Okay. So, the game plan here, here's the game plan. Ready for the game plan? We'll first show you these survivors, and then talk about the game plan after. Let's first pick out 1 or 2 that I really like, because I like doing that. I like picking out, ooh, these are actually both nice. I like these. And I think one of these is from Westworld, speaking of Westworld. I know I just told you one of them was from Tombstone, and I was wrong, but I'm going to look it up and see if one of them is from Westworld. Okay, just bear with me. Anyways, let's take a look at these ones over here. So look at that little wheelchair, I like that over there. And look at that guy over there with the gun and the coat. Looks very steampunk vibes over there. Then I'm going to show you this one over here. I think she's from Westworld, but give me a second to find the card and open it up. And I could be wrong. I was wrong with the last one. I had to have been wrong with the last one. Okay, this is why I don't open these on camera, because these, I think did I get it? No. Opening these on camera, like these smaller card packs, they really hold tight to not wanting to open or give me an edge where I can actually, there I go, got it. It can be very hard to try to open these. Honestly, though, I could have just shown you the card because she's on the back card. I didn't have to open it. But let's show you her anyway. So, this is Dottie. Dottie is her name. This is the character from Westworld. I'm pretty sure. See her? That looks like her. You know, I don't remember the character's name in the Westworld. It might have actually been Dottie for all I know, but it looks like her. That one I think is. Anyone else I recognize? Violet. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, it's definitely from Westworld, because now we have to show you her. Okay, this is definitely a Westworld reference. Look at that. That is definitely her. So if you like Westworld, then you can check this out. We have Calvin, who, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep being excited with this, because this is Back to the Future over here, which means we're also gonna have the other guy, the old dude. See, look at that little skateboard hoverboard. That's definitely a Back to the Future reference, which means if I keep going, we now have Doc Umber, which is the person I just showed you. I'm sorry, there's too many references here. This is one of the things I like about the Zombicide stretch goals in general. They have like throwbacks and callbacks to different like pop culture references that really are a lot of fun. I just like them. They're a lot of fun. They can make the characters more interesting because you're pulling, like, even Black Plague to this day, you can still play as like Wonder Woman and, you know, and Iron Man and all these other fun things. That's just, I like that aspect. I like being pulled into side references that are well done so that they fit into the game. Which brings us to the last box, which is all the stretch goals, including a particular person with a pair of mittens that is delightful. We're going to have Mittens. I think his name was Mittens, if I recall correctly. We're going to find him here, because Mittens was such an amazing reference. Okay, we have a lot of things over here. Let's go ahead and show you what we got. Undead or alive. Let's open this bad boy over here. We have the new Abomination, so here's your rules for all that stuff. We have a giant packet full of cards and more cards, which we're not going to have to get into. I don't even know how I'm going to show you this, because there's too much stuff. There's too much stuff. I want to show you all of it, but I just can't. I don't have the time for this. I don't like when these unboxings are like, I mean, this unboxing is already going to be closing in on an hour. It's like, I think we're at 40 minutes or somewhere in that range, but it can't be too long. If you want longer unboxings, highly recommend checking out Board Game Coffee. Does some fantastic, highly detailed 4-hour-long unboxings. I think it's really worth checking out. KOA, King of Average, does some detailed unboxings if you want to see 2.5 hours of fine fine-tune, like, you know, details in the miniatures. Again, lots of channels you can check out if you want detailed miniatures, everything. I'm more overview and then conversations around the general game itself and the game ecosystem. So find the type of content that resonates with you, ideally with people who are pulling chunks of tape off while subjecting you to it. Okay, so there's some cool things over here. I'll show you some of the stuff over here. So the first thing we got is we got this character who has alternating heads. Okay, this character over here, you pop different heads on them. I can't even figure out how to put this on, but it looks like that. I'm not going to try to like mess with it too much, but you can see we got a rabbit head on it. But then you can also put different types of heads on the character. That's something new that like, they didn't really do before, but like again, different spirit heads, depending on the character you want it to be. I'm not pushing them on heavily because I'm trying to do this on camera, but that gives you a degree of variety to the way the characters are. We have some more. We have a character who's definitely totally broken over here. I will have to fix it later. This is how it goes. If it's but the arm came off. This is not an interchangeable arm. This is a broken arm. Almost the same, but not entirely the same. It looks like they got a little carried away with themselves in the factory when they're like, hey, we have miniatures that aren't really in one piece. Looks like that's part of the parcel of this box. Then we have the Wendigo. The Wendigo over here, I believe this was a stretch goal that was added after. Like, this is one of those things that was added, not planned on. Lots of stretch goals are planned. This one supposedly was not. Was it? Wasn't it? I don't know for sure. I'm telling you, supposedly it was not. Then we have a bunch of these. Let me show you these over here. Just top camera like this. Those are just a whole bunch more of these just various abominations that will all be. We have Cactus Dude. Maybe the Cactus one was the one that was unplanned. There was definitely some that were unplanned. This is a giant cactus that's attacking you. Okay? That's the goal of it. We have that over there. And we're going to put these back in the box over here. And then figure out how we can get the next batch of some of these. We're going to pick select icons to go through. There are a ton, and I'll show you the whole tray as I usually do. There are an absolute ton of these. If we just get the tape part done, I'm going to grab my knife. We're not going to waste time on this one. Knife is going to go there. That's one side. Then we have the next side. Then we have the next side. Okay. And then we have the next side. Okay. So, let's go and show you this over here. Oh, that's a bunch of cards weighing that down. And this is what we have as far as the just hoard full of various characters that you can see. Let's pull it back a bit so you can see that all. There's a lot of various there's people to look at. Now, some of them that I'll show you over here that I do want to pick out and highlight is we have Doc Mittens over here. I don't know if that's his name. I think Mittens was part of his name, but see if you can figure out who that is. Look at that pose. That was one of the most popular stretch goals. It was shared wildly. I mean, like, they really did a lot of advertising with Mittens over here. That, for those who didn't know, is Bernie Sanders, I believe. We also have Ruth Bader Ginsburg over here. Again, lots of political stuff made their way into the game over here. On both sides, so everyone was equally unhappy, of course. That's the way it works. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I believe this is when she passed away, and they immortalized her in the game. I believe that was the order. I'm not certain 100%. We have a lot of other characters which are various callbacks and throwbacks to other options. I'm seeing what I could find here. I don't know. A lot of these are just generically posed people. I'm not heavily going to show every single one. Let's grab one or two that look fun or different. So we have this person. Oh, we have a neck issue here. I'm not going to... That looks like a... Oh my gosh. That's got to be a... This has got to be a misprint over here. Something's wrong with this character. The neck's too long. Like, tell me that neck is the right... There we go. That neck looks just... Look where the head is. Maybe I have to push the head down. I'll do that after. We'll find out. And then we'll go ahead and see these two over here. Yeah. There's a ton. Again, there's a boxes full of this stuff. A lot of things. Too much to go through. So I'm not going to try to do everything on this over here. But that's kind of what we have here. A whole lot of various stretch goals and miniatures for Zombicide. And that's what we have. That's basically everything except for the metal dice, which I may or may not have ordered. And now I'm going to desperately wonder about that for the next 4.5 minutes until I go check my order and see if I did or didn't get metal dice on a game that I may or may not keep. Also, I put away the box for gears and guns, and the rules are over here, so we'll clean that up. That is it. That is Zombicide Undead or Alive. It's a game that I do not think I'll keep, but if it's good enough, I will. At the end of the day, if the systems are good enough and the systems hold out and the theme pulls me in, if the steampunk stuff does its things, if this box closes, I will make room for another calyx full of Zombicide stuff. Keep in mind, if I do keep this will be condensed, and it'll be condensed with all the plastic trays and stuff thrown out and not in the way, and it'll ultimately be condensed in a way that has me keeping probably one calyx cubby full of Zombicide. That's all I really need to keep once you condense it. Once you put it all in little baggies and don't worry about every single miniature being isolated. But that only happens after I decide to keep it, which means until then, it's going to represent a way too large collection of boxes that are just taking up way too much space, which means it's really important to play it. Which brings us back to the game plan. The game plan is to play it, you know, today or tomorrow or whenever, and then dive into a recorded gameplay of Marvel Zombies Undead or Alive so that you can have that as soon as possible. In fact, I don't even know if we do that. For all I know, that video goes up before this video. So I'll link to that one, or I'll link to this one. They'll link in both directions. We'll figure it out. In any case, that is your unboxing and rambling of Zombicide Undead or Alive. It was a good game. It is a good game. I really like it. I just don't know if it'll supplant, or if will it be good enough to make it so that I own 3 Zombicide games. Keep in mind, this is an ongoing problem. As soon as they come out with Zombicide Pirates Edition or Zombicide Ninja Edition, whatever they come up with next, it's always going to be a conversation of which one is good enough to have how many different versions of Zombicide, because I think 2 caps it out, and I think that's pushing it. Going to 3 feels like a mistake, but I've made mistakes when it came to games before. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.